Okay, here we are on Lake Murray again. It's the following week. We've had a low over the come in from the north, followed by, I believe, a second low, and really for the Carolinas it's brought grey skies and some gusty winds, but nothing much else. Anyway, originally the forecast for Sunday was that it would start off sort of miserable-ish in Carolina standards and improve somewhat. And so today I'm out and having a quick look. As you can see, I've got one reef in. I started off with two. It wasn't really because I needed the reefs in, it was because I'd put them in on Friday just so that I could set the stuff up. And the wind from where I was berthed was right behind me, and I'm never really comfortable with the wind behind me because you can never quite tell how vicious it is until you turn around and get into the teeth of it. And I'm quite happy to let the boat roll out under its own steam and play with it. Also, I've put a bungee across the tiller, which isn't completely necessary because this holds its course quite well, but it always tends to move a little bit. And that means I can get around the boat a bit easier. Now, I haven't put the mizzen up, and I really should have, because I found that when I'm turning through the wind I lose all steam, and that mizzen must provide some sort of impetus for me to complete the turn. So it's been a bit annoying, and it's not the easiest of things to do. At the moment, according to the machine, we're heading southeast, doing 2.3 knots. The main reason for that is that where the wind's coming from is over there somewhere. And I think it blocks off a little bit, because it was far more windy. You can't really tell here. You've got that headland in the middle of the picture to the right there, and then behind that there's the bay that I came from, and it was far more blowy there. Anyway, what I'm hoping to do is get the mizzen up and get some sailing in now and get a bit more comfortable with the boat. Don't know if you can read that, but it says the wind speed's 2.9 knots with gusts up to 7 knots. And to be honest, I have a bit of trouble believing that. We're on only just pointing into the wind. I don't know what that's called, broad reach or something. And we're still managing 3.5 knots. Now she's cranking over quite a bit. Try and see if I can show that. Well, that gust has passed. At the moment everything's on auto, you could say. So it's getting a bit gusty just here. Anyway, coming and going. that's where we came from. We've been tacking forward and back, slowly moving our way downwind. The idea being that when I'm bored with this, I head up to get home, and hopefully that'll be okay. Now there's a boat over there. I'm not sure I want to be in their position because the wind is coming from the left, and I guess they're coming towards us, but getting a bit too close to a lee shore for my liking. Probably have come from the other side, which I believe doesn't have as much depth. There you go. They probably know far more what they're doing than I do. That's it. It's early afternoon now. There's been a spot of sun and not much else. There's been a little bit of drizzle. I'm still on one reef. Apart from that, it's rather pleasant. Okay, here we are. It's possibly an hour or so later. As you can see, the wind's dropped a fair amount, and the skies have brightened actually somewhat as well. Now, before they actually brightened, it was extremely blustery, and I had the full jib up, and the first reef in the main.
All boats, this is WTU 9723, Pozo Kenai. We have a vessel in tow and we're going to the Catalina rendezvous at Lake Marina. Is anybody in the Catalina fleet on the radio, please?
Okay, well I just put the camera away for a few minutes there. What happened was there was a couple of Catalinas moving into the sort of bay that I normally go into, and they came up on channel 16 asking for some body from the Catalina fleet, if there was anyone. So after a quiet patch I offered my assistance, and they seemed to be fine, and I just switched the camera off while I was doing that. Anyway, something that I've learned actually, which is a good thing, is that despite the seemingly low winds, and I just got the latest NOAA forecast for Lake Murray, and it was 2 knots gusting to 9 knots, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but I've furled my jib slightly, taking it a few wraps round the mast. So I've got a 3/4 furled jib and a single reef in the main, and the boat handles so much nicer even in these reasonably mild winds. It was the gusts that were giving me trouble, and I've read a lot over the internet that you should put a reef in at 15, but it seems to be that if we're getting gusts of any size, that she handles that much better. with the reef in and losing a bit of jib. So that was interesting. Up inside, what we got at the front there is some sort of anchor. There's a spinnaker with an ATN something or other, which you sort of wrap around the furled jib. An ATN tacker, that's what it's called. It's sort of like something that you clip the spinnaker to. I'm by no means smart enough to actually use that thing yet, although for sure it will be handy getting home sometimes already. Anyway, we'll have a look out now. You can see we're heeled quite a bit and we're in quite a juicy gust of wind, but because I've furled, have a look at the back here. See, it's we're moving quite well. That was maybe 4.7 knots. What's that, about 5 miles an hour? But because I furled the jib slightly, she doesn't round up as much as what she wanted to, and it's far more handy, and that's the thing really that I've learned today, which is great. So it really is a case of
dragonfly,
furl early.
WTU 9723 follow.
And it's surprising how much easier the ride is when we loosen sail. Very strange. So we're currently at about 7 or 8 degrees. Crank. We're doing 4.6 knots. That gust is easing off again now, and we're straining up. Far more easy and far less worrying.
Somebody with the Catalina fleet and see where open dock space is.